Hey everyone, my name's Shelby and today we'll be talking about the siege of Sidney Street. The early 20th century saw an influx of immigrants from Russia and the Balkans to Britain. The government encouraged the Eastern Europeans to come, much to the consternation of the indigenous population. Crime levels began to rise among the immigrants and a group of Latvian anarchists under the leadership of Peter Piatko, known as Peter the Painter, attempted a wages snatch at Schneeman's rubber factory on Chestnut Road in London on 23rd of January 1909. The incident that became known as the Tottenham outrage. On 16th of December 1910, the gang killed 3 policemen, Sergeant Robert Bentley, who was 40, PC Walter Choate, who was 32, and Sergeant Charles Tucker, who was 46, in a jewellery robbery. A large manhunt resulted in several of the gang being arrested, and an informant told police on New Year's Day 1911 that other members of the gang were hiding at 10 Sidney Street. By 2 a.m. on 3rd of January, 200 policemen surrounded the house and cordoned off the street. The gang had more and better weapons than the police, and a contingent of Scots Guards was called from the Tower of London, the first time armed soldiers had been seen on the streets of capital since Bloody Sunday in 1887. When Home Secretary Winston Churchill heard that the military had been summoned, he was in the bath. He quickly dressed himself and hastened along to Sidney Street, where he was met by chants from the crowd of "Who let him in?" He suggested that the house should be bombarded and then stormed by police and the army. This suggestion was not acted upon. However, as smoke began billowing from the top floor of the house, Churchill refused to let the fire brigade in to extinguish the flames. In a few minutes, the upper floors had collapsed. Far out. The aftermath was when the police entered the building, they found the charred remains of Fritz Vaz and William Sokolov. Of Peter the Painter, there was no sign. Churchill found himself heavily criticised for his role in the siege. The police later captured 5 more members of the gang, but their prosecution was bungled and they were acquitted. And this is just a little depiction that I found, which shows the police getting ready to get them out. This is kind of the sort of thing, this is going to be on a bit of a rant, but this is kind of the sort of thing that gives immigrants to new countries a bad rep. Everyone just suddenly assumes that crime's going to go up. Most people that immigrate overseas are actually really friggin' lovely, so, but there's always going to be an odd couple, 2 or 3 or whatever percentage, that turns to crime and gang stuff. I could go on for ages, but yeah, this is the sort of thing that happens that gives people a bad rap even today. But immigrants are lovely and everyone should just get along. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the story. Stay safe.